Hi, thanks for coming back. My name is Russ. Thank you for stopping by on our channel today. What we're going to be talking about is breaking down the song Holy by Shane & Shane off of their Upstairs album. What you heard probably just a little bit ago was me playing kind of the intro verse to that song. It's very, very simple. There's a lot of intricacies that are being played by him through that, different picking styles and things. That's why we've actually got a second camera set up today, so you can take a look at another angle and get a better view of how these chords are being shaped, what strings are being plucked, and what notes are being played. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and talk about this very first part of the song. And as you can see, I'm capo 2, we're in standard tuning, and it actually starts off in E, but we're actually going to talk about it kind of like it being a D, just relative to the capo. It's a little bit easier for everybody to kind of understand playing a D chord relative to the capo 2. The best way to kind of practice this intro, and it's just a walk down. You're taking the D, going D flat, walking it all the way down to where you're coming up to a B or an A relative to capo 2. Keep your ring finger anchored to the guitar the entire time on the appropriate string, and that appropriate string is going to be the B string, and it's going to be on the 5th fret the entire time we walk that down. Now there's a lot, you can form all the different chords, but if you can keep that ring finger anchored the entire time, that kind of allows you to be, you know, in a structured form while walking up to the very next chord or walking down to the very next chord. So you can see here, and I'll just strum through this, and you'll notice that my ring finger never leaves the guitar. So it'll come to this D chord, walking down. Just leave it anchored. Okay, so of course he's picking through that. Shane Bernard's on that song. It's not exactly strummed, it's being picked through. And I'm going to play it through real quick and pay attention to the other view, because I think that'll actually help you see, you know, exactly which parts are being played, how they're being played, when they're being played, so on and so forth. So I'm going to play it slow for you. So here it goes. So you can see one of the most trickiest parts, I guess, on that is when he walks that, what he likes to refer to oftentimes, and I'll go ahead and refer to it as a cheater scale, coming back into that D-ish chord or that E chord. All that's going on there is just you're starting on the open B string, and it's 0, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, back to that D chord. So that's essentially how the verse goes. What we're going to talk about next is how to play the pre-chorus. Okay, so that's a lot of playing in there. What we're going to do, this is, like we talked about, this is the pre-chorus part to Shane & Shane's Holy. That basically starts out just kind of up here, effectively what is a C sharp. You're going to play it kind of like a B minor. It is a C sharp. We're going to play that up on it's the 9th fret, using your middle finger and your ring finger on the 1st and 4th string, and it's just so you're kind of going back and forth on those two, on that one string on the fourth string, going 9, 8, 9, 8. So it's, and he kind of slides it up into basically a G chord, and there's one of his cheater scales like he talks about. Walking it down up to the, sliding that up to the 7th fret. Okay, so and then it's effectively what becomes a D chord, but you're just playing it kind of in a different way. Same, you know, the bottom 3 strings. And what we're doing, take your middle finger and your ring finger, put them on the 9th fret, on the G and the B string, and then take your pointer finger and you're going to place that on the 7th fret. So those 4 strings are being played, strummed through. Okay? So that part, when that part starts, then you're just going to bar the 5th fret on the last 2 strings and move your middle finger to that fret there. So you're coming, I keep saying 5th fret, I'm sorry, it's actually the 7th fret. 5th fret, you know, relative to the capo. Coming back. And then that 3rd chord, kind of forming essentially what is like a G here. If you'll kind of take that shape, and we're going kind of a weird chord there, so it's do it one more time. Just kind of scaling back into that chord. Okay, so the chorus to Shane and Shane's Holy is very, very simple. It's essentially 3 chords, playing it kind of like a B minor, A, G, again relative to capo 2. The hardest part to get with this, from my opinion, is just, you know, Shane Bernard plays very percussively, and it's just kind of learning his rhythmic style and not trying to overplay it. A lot of people tend to do that. I used to tend to do that. But as long as you can get the chords down right and just essentially play percussively, but don't overplay it, you should be able to play that part of the song really, really easy. So anyway, here's how he plays it. Again, the only part that I didn't really talk about is kind of how he, you know, that last part of the chorus, when it stops on that G chord, which is essentially an A, just walking that down, and then the little scale, you know, back up into that D, which is back into that D chord from kind of the pre-chorus part. That's effectively every part of the song that you would otherwise need to know in order to play it. The only other thing I'll mention is, you know, everybody talks about that part, the last chorus in the song when he kind of does that little syncopated scratch part. I'm not necessarily going to try to, you know, recreate that for you, but you know, it's actually really, really simple. Coming in. told you I wasn't going to recreate it. I guess I recreated it, but it's actually quite simple. Again, just very simply syncopated scratching, not overdoing it, but making sure you still stay on rhythm, stay on tempo, to come right back into whatever chord is necessary coming up next. So at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. My advice, again, we didn't want to take too much time in order to explain every little part of the song. But if I was you, if you really wanted to learn it, take time and just kind of pause through this video, watching from this angle, watching from the small screen angle, and just kind of stopping on each chord till it kind of becomes muscle memory, and just practice, practice, practice. Thanks. We'll see you again.